Miami Heat, 46 and 36, ended up with the eighth seed in the Eastern Conference, lost to the Boston Celtics in 5 games. The fact that they were able to win one game was kind of impressive considering that Jimmy Butler did not play, and it took a sort of miraculous, historic three-point shooting display to win that game, but they won one game, avoided getting swept. And normally that'd be the biggest story when it comes to Miami, but I think the bigger story is the Pat Riley end of season press conference he gave, where he basically reamed Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero for not being available, Jimmy Butler's trash talk, Tyler Hero not being serious, among other things. And these guys have been to the finals twice with Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. So you would think, oh yeah, like they'll bounce back eventually. But then you kind of got to look at the games missed with the two of them. Last season, Butler missed 22, Tyler Hero missed 40, and if you go back 3 seasons for each of them, Butler has missed 65, Tyler Hero's missed 71. Kind of hard to win when two of your better offensive players and two of your better players overall just aren't healthy. It's kind of alarming. By comparison, Bam Adebayo, who got a 3-year, 166 million extension in the offseason, he only missed 11 games last season, and then 7 in the season before that. He had a lot of injury issues before, but then cleaned it up somehow. I'm hoping Bam, stays healthy if you're for the Miami Heat, but that's better than I can say about Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. And Miami has its fair share of injury issues every year, but really that needs to be cleaned up for Miami to have any shot of finishing anywhere but eighth. Because they finished eighth the last 2 seasons, and the smart money says they're going to finish eighth again and get passed by the likes of, Indiana, Orlando, Cleveland, although Cleveland kind of already surpassed them, but it feels like those teams are right now better than Miami. Not to say that Miami can't, sneak into some sort of top 5 seed, maybe even a fourth seed, but that's probably their ceiling. I mean, the last 2 seasons, they've been a bottom 10 offense, which is kind of laughable. And, for an Eric Spoelstra coach team, like they're going to play hard on defense and they're going to play together on offense. But if you're bottom 10 2 seasons in a row, a lot of that's 3-point shooting, you're not really going to like have a lot of success in the regular season or the playoffs. So clean those things up. Like, and you should be at least better. Miami, they always play as this underdog. They were an 8 seed that got to the finals, 2 seasons ago. Like they're always dangerous. They're always scary and threatening. And the current Miami roster, I actually think does have a fair amount of depth. You look at what Jaime Jaquez Jr. did last season as a rookie. That was pretty impressive and incredible. You look at Terry Rozier, who wasn't good last season after the trade, but he was injured. He can certainly contribute. You look at Kevin Love. Maybe he can could give you a little bit left. I don't know how many more years he has left in the NBA. He's getting up there in years. You have Nasir Little, who I'm actually a very big fan of, despite the fact that Phoenix and Portland gave up on him. The big problem with Nasir Little is that he also does not stay healthy. But, he has some potential offensively and is a pretty good defensive player, just a good all around player. I think there is potential to be untapped. Again, as long as he can stay healthy. They also signed Alec Burks. I actually like Alec Burks. I thought it was a little surprising that New York, after he came back to the Knicks from the Pistons, he didn't really play a lot. Tibbs didn't play him. He was actually pretty helpful in the playoffs when the Knicks had a bunch of guys go down injuries, but couldn't seem to get minutes otherwise. He is 33 years old, but I'd like to think that he can still give a little bit of juice. Um, I know I've sort of mentioned a bunch of guys who are either injured or old. That is concerning, but if you look at the sort of total depth, there's a lot there. Sear Little, as I said, Alec Burke, Duncan Robinson, who played really well last season, Jaime Jaquez Jr., who I assume starts, but it's hard to say with Miami. You've got Josh Richardson still there. You've got Alec Burks, as I've said. Thomas Bryant, maybe he contributes. I'm not sure. Miami drafted Khalil Ware, who helped them win. By the way, Miami won the Summer League title. Not that that really matters, but Khalil Ware did play well in Summer League, and he's a big 7-footer rim runner, which Miami could always use more of. So, if he contributes, that adds to the depth. And I just listed a bunch of guys who are veterans or the young guys, like in the case of Hawkins, who are good. Like there's certainly pieces, and if Hero is healthy, he's still a pretty good player. Jimmy Butler, when he's healthy, he's a potential, not quite a superstar, but still like a very good player. Bam, not a great offensive player, but still an elite defensive player. And, with the two of them, like they've had a lot of success despite the lack of 3-point shooting from the two of them. I know Butler ramps it up in the playoffs, but the lack of 3-point shooting is very like concerning, and yet they somehow find a way to win. Meanwhile, you have the defensive issues with Hero and Robinson, and again, they still find ways to win. Robinson got better. Now you need Hero to get better on that side of the ball if you want any chance of actually winning a title. But if Miami ever puts all the pieces together as far as health, as far as guys becoming two-way players, as far as maybe Bam shooting, I think Bam probably is never going to shoot threes, but if he ever really does shoot threes and Jimmy Butler shoots threes, that could be something. Um, and I guess the other thing I do have to address, to be fair, Jimmy Butler is on a player option for this upcoming season, and he has a pretty sizable contract in terms of the player option. But indications are that he's going to opt out and try and get another contract with Miami. I'm not so sure Miami's going to take it. The injury issues, as I mentioned, he's also 35. There's also been a lot of contentiousness between him and Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley. So this might be the last year of Jimmy Butler, but if he goes, you can build around Bam Adebayo next year and sort of work that way. One thing to note, I should mention, like Miami doesn't really have a lot of options as far as draft picks. Their current pick is lottery protected, but like if not, it goes to OKC, and they don't really have a lot of like meaningful assets that really can get them that sort of extra star. So I think you try and win this season with what you have. You hope to win this season, that chance, but anything's possible. And if they don't, you try and win next season. Build around Bam, maybe around Butler, maybe around Hero. Figure out what Hawkes is to you, and go from there and do what Miami does every year, which is find a way to win even when they don't have, all the talent. They just, it's the Miami way, the Heat, hashtag Heat culture.